Let's call the meeting to order, please. Could have approval of the meeting minutes of April 10th, please.
Move to approve the minutes of April 10th as read.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
No public input. Okay.
You got anything to say, Tyler?
No, I'm all set.
I'm just curious.
Sorry?
Public input, I was just giving them an option.
Oh, okay. Tyler's smiling, so that means we're in good shape. Okay. Jason, your monthly report.
All right, monthly report, still day-to-day stuff. Public safety building, we got the asphalt berm all in around the outside of the perimeter of the parking lot and roadway in. We're in the process of putting the granite curbing in around the building. Get all the sidewalks prepped so that we can get the sidewalks paved and then they can be ready to move in the building whenever they get all the connections for internet and all that stuff.
Have we come up for the date yet for the dedication?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
You'll let us know when you...
Oh, yeah, we'll let everybody know. Yeah, you'll be welcome.
When's the grass gonna turn green?
As soon as I finish up the granite curbing and the sidewalks are in,
It's already
the grass
green
will
on the
turn.
other side of the fence.
They'll,
Oh, no, I was just trying to make a joke about the dedication date.
yeah, well, it should be green by then now.
It's on the other side.
I'll stop
We're
trying to...
we're hoping, but
When you have to explain your joke.
Exactly, it's obviously, I'm not doing a good job, but that's, I'm sorry.
the,
Right over my head.
I'll be fine.
Good joke.
I like your hat, Joe.
It's always greener on the other side. That's what I said.
there's plenty of green grass in the rest of the field if they need something to look at.
So I got your joke. That's what it's
Okay, continue, Jason.
Let's see, I don't know where I was.
Very glad we made it this week.
I had 2 parts.
Yeah, we hired the Parks and Commons people, same people we had last year. They're both coming back.
Yeah, good, they worked out pretty good.
Yeah, we also needed 2 people for cemetery. We didn't receive any additional applications, but the cemetery decided to keep it open until the positions were filled. And I believe they have three more applicants at this time
Oh,
for that,
nice.
so.
Good news.
Pretty much it, as far as that stuff goes.
Okay.
Bill was actually out sick today, so
Oh, really?
he was here for a while and he went home, so otherwise he'd be here with us tonight. I told him not to worry about it. They've been patching like crazy now that the water has been here this spring. The roads kind of got beat up pretty good, so they've been patching as much as they can. They're getting caught up, so there's still a bunch of them out there that they have to get.
Personal, I'm not speaking for the town. Don't worry about patching in front of my house for a while. It'll fall out in 2 weeks.
So follow them to me.
So, I'm okay if you wait on that, and I'm just personal opinion.
Where is your house?
Williamsville Road,
Oh, way up?
just as it flattens out just up from School Street. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
at that first level off spot.
Uh-huh. On the right or on the left?
I'm the brown house on the right, that's almost on the road with the retaining wall right up against
In
it.
the 300?
Right at the corner.
320?
Yeah.
320?
Yeah, Paul Dumanowski used to
Top
live
of
there,
it, yeah.
so I'm okay if you're in no rush to repair that spot.
I wanted to thank Jay on behalf of Barry Little League. He had some of the guys, they got some material down at the South Barry ball field, spread it, did some work down there, made it look nice, so that was greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we had a couple of different requests to do some maintenance down there, and it was definitely well overdue. So we went down and put the material in, we got the infield and everything all jazzed up. Still more work to be done, but a little bit of time we'll get it all cleaned up for those guys.
Thank you.
Jason, your thoughts, I was just looking at the common, you were cleaning the commons.
Yep,
What do you think of the railings up at the North Common?
the railings, they're all in. Actually,
I know they're all in, but
they had issues with, there was some confusion on who was supposed to supply the screws. I guess it was the town's responsibility, so they finally got the information to me, probably 2 weeks ago now. And I ordered all the screws and they're in, so we're just waiting for that company to come back and finish screwing all the rails down. Other than that, they're all in, painted.
Yeah, I know, I seen them, but I noticed on the North School Street side, there's 3 sections where the railings are not level.
Oh, that could be because of screws though, John. Some of the holes where the pins go in don't fit really perfectly anymore. So if they settle down, the railing would be down.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, the other thing is there's a couple over by the library where the posts are raised up because the ground comes up there to meet the new sidewalk coming in. And those 2, so that's obviously not level. The rest of them should be pretty close.
The rest of it looks good.
It does, yeah, it really
They
does.
did a good job painting too, yeah. Okay,
We were sticking with gray on those all the way on both ends? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a primer or final paint.
Yeah, no, that was
No, they
fine.
painted, the white was the primer and then
Yeah.
they painted it
Yeah,
gray.
exactly.
They painted them white to start with.
Yeah.
we wanted to match the colors of the common
Right.
by
Okay.
Becky's there.
Thank you.
So they're all
I
great.
forget what they call it, but something gray, I forget.
Yeah, I figure what the.
It took us months to
Yeah.
find, to pick out the
Yeah, pretty
colors.
much. That was
I won't bring that up again.
another big
Great choice.
Okay,
As long as you're happy, man, that's what.
Now it's just called common gray.
Common gray, I love that.
Common gray.
good idea, yeah. Why don't you patent that?
Make it common gray and just make it our common color. Wherever you bought it from, just have Barry's common gray.
Yeah,
And they'll save it.
yeah.
I'm serious, I've done painting a long time, just tell them it's common gray and whoever you bought the paint, they'll save it for you, and that logo for your town.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask the supplier.
Well, we have the official color that they
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
call it, I just
but
don't know what it
just rename it common gray for,
is. Then they'll have it in their system for us.
Okay,
then when you want it, say want some of the common gray. and
Hopefully they did a
they'll-
good enough job painting, we don't have to paint it for many years.
It's paint still, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Street sweeper's been going as long as it can. We usually work on it for 2 days, run it for 1. Thing is far past its life cycle. So we're running out of parts. We had a spare parts machine out there and we're running out of spare parts for it. None left. You can't get most of the parts for it because it's so old.
Was that already in the capital purchase? Or
It is.
it slated for it?
It is. I did meet with the
Yeah.
capital planning committee and I did inform them that we would like to do that as soon as possible. I believe that is not this coming year, it is the year after. But, I mean, if we have to, we can
We may have to.
do the bare minimum. And we understand that, there's money troubles.
We'll see where it winds up in another couple of weeks, but
Yep, exactly.
right now it's not good.
That's pretty much it. All right.
okay.
See what you guys have?
Tom, you wanna jump in here, you want me to read you?
I don't have my report with me, so.
Okay, I'll read it.
It's just
Just,
general,
uh,
John, that's not really it.
Yeah.
Maintenance and operation, and the next meeting, our
Yeah.
next meeting is the 22nd, okay. Water department,
Same thing.
same thing? Okay,
Next meeting date's Wednesday, June 7th.
okay.
I did actually have one thing for highway.
Hmm?
Somebody asked me what the plan is with Southbury sidewalks.
Hmm?
I remember months and months ago it came up and you mentioned something about it, but I don't recall
Yeah.
at all where we're at.
We have all the granite purchased for the sidewalks down there. We, kind of a toss-up, we can, whichever way you guys wanna lean. I can stop working on the public safety building and go put the sidewalks in Southbury, or I can finish that and then go down to Southbury.
So after public safety building, that's kind of your next
That's
bigger
kind
project too.
of, it is, yeah. We're planning on getting it done before Memorial Day. Memorial Day's only 3 weeks away. Not saying it's not gonna happen, but again, yeah, it's getting tight, so. Obviously, we'd rather not have it all done.
And I as well have something I've already talked to both you about, but, which was the on-call engineering. Wanted you to share those thoughts with the other selectmen if you can, so we
Yep.
can,
Well, I was planning on reading it.
I talked to Greg the other day about the on-call engineering. It's up this year. I do have a call in to the DPW specialist from the Inspector General's office to see about what length of an extension we can do. I believe we can do an extension, so we don't have to go out for a request for qualifications.
Qualifications.
I believe we can extend it, because we still have, contracts, projects that the current contracted
That they're
engineers
overseeing.
are overseeing and working with us on. I just need to get the legal information back from them. Again, I did leave her a message again today, and I haven't heard back, so.
And more specifically, we were asking what their input would be, what they thought, and what they said is, because this is the people already dealing with it, it's preferred to stay with the engineers and understand our projects. For example, if either of you had something going somewhere and they threw you out and hired somebody new, you're not gonna share all your info, they're gonna be in the dark on it. And so it
You're
makes
supposed
sense
to
if we
legally,
continue.
they're supposed to legally share, but
Right.
we both
Doesn't
know
work
that
that
if you boot my company for somebody else, I'm gonna give you what I'm required to give you, and there's not gonna be any extra. You know, that's not always the smoothest process, so, chances are, if we do have to go out for requests for qualifications, the same ones will come back again. But if we can grant an extension, you know, make it so we don't have to go out as often, that would be beneficial for everybody, really.
How many years have we had the current?
Well, it's 3 years.
We've had them for 3 so
Let
far.
me read this email that I got from Phil at Hubbard in respect to the professional engineering. It says the current 3-year contracts will be expiring June 30th, 2017. Chapter 30B procurement exempts contracts for engineers. I suggest the town solicit new requests for qualifications for the 3-year period beginning July 1st using the existing firms. That I don't agree with. Selectman O'Sullivan has suggested that at the next DPW Commission meeting, DPW should comment on the performance of the existing firms and if all should be solicited or some excluded. Okay, the current firms are Leonard Engineering, Tater and Howard, Chapel Engineering, Weston and Sampson, and Woodard and Curran. That I would like to discuss. At this point, just so everybody's aware, we have in the past used Leonard Engineering, Tater and Howard. In fact, the Tater and Howard is the sewer department's engineer of record. Chapel Engineering is the one that designed the common.
Okay.
I would recommend highly. They did an excellent job. Keith Lincoln, who is the project engineer for this area, was easy to get along with. He complied with all the specs and the roads. Weston and Sampson, I'm not too happy with. I've had experiences with Weston and Sampson.
What do they do
They
for
wait.
us?
No, we,
They wait forever.
What do they do? I don't know.
Their engineer consultant.
Yeah,
They're on call.
have they done anything for us?
No,
no,
Okay.
no, we have not.
they have not, and neither has Woodard and Curran.
Okay.
So my suggestion would be, if we're gonna go out for pre-qualification, just go out for Leonard, Tater and Howard, and Chapel, instead of using the other two. Because I don't know about Woodard and Curran.
Woodard
I've
and
never had
Curran,
experience with them.
the only project we had going with them was the generator for this building. That was the person Heather had picked for that project. It's a very small project, that's the only thing we've done with them here.
I can't recall of them doing anything else.
Yeah.
But
Now,
it's
is
up-
this
it's
something
up to
that the
board.
town would use also, or is it primarily DPW?
It's pretty much just for us.
Primarily DPW,
Okay.
yeah. But if they're available, if, you know,
Right.
I don't know what other department would need them.
Well, it would depend. See, I'm wondering, do we have like an architect that's been ever chosen for like our facility buildings and what we might do for upgrades? Because I know people have asked about preliminary designs for the town hall.
None of
To then
these-
get a grant for accessibility issues, things like that. I just didn't know if we had someone like that.
We don't, I mean, I believe
Not saying we need it either,
Right.
it's just a question.
Yeah.
there is engineers on that list that would take care of that for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of these engineers on the list are architectural engineers. They're environmental engineers. But they all use certain architects, you know.
For certain
and you-
specialty
you-
sections
yeah,
of their work.
You go through them,
Leonard.
just like Leonard Engineering used, when we did the Brooks drainage
They
project.
did the common.
Tater and Howard the same way. They do not do architectural work in-house. They sub it out.
Right.
So
Just like
It's
architects
normal.
sub out a mechanical engineer or
Exactly.
someone.
That's normal procedure in the
The
industry.
water upgrades.
Weston and Sampson, I know they bid on the public safety
Did
building.
the one section.
I'm really not happy with them,
It's for-
unless the board overrides me. Wooded and Curran, I don't know. I've heard they're very good, but I've never had any experience with them. Have you, Ron?
So this is 5 different engineering firms. How many do we typically have to, you'll have on call? Do we need to have 5 on call? Can we just invite 3 to be on call?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Is there any restriction or limit to what we're supposed to have?
No, I don't think so.
Is there any-
I think it's the concept of 3 or more is kind of the concept. You want something more than just 2 people that you say, I like you and I don't like you.
And is there a cost associated with having them on call? Are we under a contract? Is the stipend or anything? If there's-
Only,
You
as
don't
we
pay
need, they're
them.
on-call engineers, so we don't pay them anything.
You don't pay them
Just-
unless they perform.
Right.
Ron? Go ahead. Okay.
So what the question would be, do we want to try to replace them with 2 others and still put some out? Or do we just want to try to pick the other 3 up if we
No,
can?
in my opinion, where we've had good luck with the 3 that Leonard, Tater and Howard and Chapel, I don't think we have to add any more. They're right there,
That's why we're here for it, because we have no idea. That's why
they're
we're here.
fairly local. Leonard, I believe, is what, Auburn?
Auburn, yeah, that's it, local.
Tater and Howard is in Southborough or Westborough now, I forget. They moved. They just moved.
I've heard it too, right?
They were in Westborough, I think they moved to Southborough.
Yeah.
And Chapel is in, oh, God. Help me out.
Can't remember.
Well, they're local too, you know, they can get here within a half hour, 45 minutes.
Those are all people that come out here anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you normally set up an on-call agreement with all 3, or do you choose one and then you just know you got the other 2 in the wings?
You know, the on-call agreements with all 5 right now.
Okay, so they're all on the list, and
Yeah.
do you
So in other
negotiate
words,
rates prior to using them, or is it, they just give you a
Yeah.
lump sum bid?
Yeah.
yeah, in other words, in the past, like Tater and Howard is sewer, they do all our sewer work. The Leonard Engineering normally does all the water work.
Leonard also did all the Dixbrook project, all the drainage on the common, engineered Cannon Street and Williamsville Road.
We had one bad experience with them, and that was Williamsville Road.
I don't know why you say
And
that.
that was partly our fault. Because to save money, we didn't call for daily inspection. So they would send somebody out once a week. Big mistake. I voted against it, but Ronnie can back me up on that. Had we went for the on-day, every-day inspection, we wouldn't have had any
We
problem.
wouldn't have paid with cold patch.
That's right, that's right.
All right, so you want to keep these 3, and if you can, for 3
That's
years, but
if
we'll
the
wait
board
to
is-
see what you...
We'll see what they say about the extension, so I mean, that's
Yeah.
one
They may
way so we
limit us
can
to
put it
one.
off.
They may limit us to 1 or 2, but if they say 3, you prefer that? Keep the same guys for 3 more?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
fine. We'll have to see what they say though, I don't know if that's even possible.
I know, that's what I'm saying, if.
Yeah.
So if we do get that word, we can get it out there, because we still only have,
Yep.
2 months to settle this.
Right. And worst case, we
That's
can...
assuming
we
they
can-
want to do it. too.
Right, we can advertise it for request for qualifications again and go through.
Right, if they don't,
That's not that big.
if
of a
they
rush.
can or don't want to, we have 2 months to settle it. We probably need
Right.
about a month to get through it.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
that's kind of why.
And if for any reason, I got this feeling, Tater and Howard last time, their qualifications, they specified what they would not do. Do you remember that,
I
Jason?
do, yeah, there was something in there, there was questions about us accepting them
Right.
as a qualified.
Right, but
But-
they're the sewer department engineer. So, let's say they decide not to pre-qualify.
Right.
Then I would say we would look into that Wooded and Curran. I understand they've got a pretty good
To
reputation.
see if they pick up the sewer.
Yeah,
At least, okay. That's what we need to
we don't
know.
need anybody for sewer work.
No, but I'm saying if they dropped out, if Tater dropped out, then you'd want to see if they pick up the slack of the sewer engineering.
No,
I think he's just saying as a
No.
third option.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's saying we always will always have Tater and Howard in the back pocket as
They've been
our
with
sewer
us.
engineer. But if they don't want to pre-qualify as an on-call engineer, we would have the third option in Woodard and Curran.
Okay.
They've been with us indirectly since the sewer project was started. The treatment plant was completed in '89, but it was with Haley and Ward. It's a company that I worked for. The project engineer for that, all of the sewer project was Jack O'Connell, who I've known since the '70s, okay? He went to work as an executive vice president for Tater and Howard. And we went with him, we followed him. It was not a mistake. Now, he's no longer with them, but Tater and Howard has done very good work for us as far as the sewer.
They are,
Tom can tell you, he pick up the phone, he gets answers immediately.
they're familiar with the system. Like I
Very
said,
familiar with the
They've been
system.
part of the system since day one.
They don't have to take the question and go back necessarily
And
and
the-
review everything and say, I'm not sure how to answer this yet.
Right.
And the gentleman that took over Jack O'Connell's spot, I've been dealing with in Gardner for 11 years and
Yeah.
very
he's
familiar
good.
with him, so.
Yeah, he's, who is it, Stephen?
Steve Lane.
Steve, man.
Stephen, yeah. So,
Yeah, so we'll just,
that's my
as
thoughts.
soon as I get an answer on that, I'll let you guys know. I'll send an email, let you guys know what the deal is, and if not, then we'll just,
And then we
we'll
can
go
make
ahead
it.
and we'll advertise it.
Yeah.
All right, that's why we went this route.
Thank you
Okay, that
much.
takes care of that. Now, I have another email that I got from Matt that I'd like to address and get it straight once and for all.
It's not a joke, is it?
No, it's not, no.
It says something about a chicken crossing the road, but I'm sure it's serious.
I have turkeys crossing my front yard.
Don't we all now?
Yeah, in my backyard
It's like
too.
the Fisher cats and the soon-to-be
Okay.
rattlesnakes.
This was addressed to Shannon. It says, Shannon, thanks for the reminder. At last night's Finance Committee, the committee asked for information on the following items. The water operations water pump line item. Why the increase, and is it strictly due to electricity prices and consumption? I said I would pass along the question.
I can answer that for you.
Okay.
You got it answered, didn't you?
The pumping line item is strictly electricity.
Right.
In the past, former town administrator wouldn't let us budget an actual number for what we pay for electricity. She would put in the kilowatt hours, the rate for the kilowatt hours, but not the distribution charge. Obviously, we pay for the distribution charge as well, therefore it needs to be included in the budget. That's a real number that we actually paid for electricity for the last 12
You
months.
only budgeted your supply costs?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I
Not
needed.
originally,
Not
we
by
didn't,
his choice.
we put
Not-
it in.
not- oh, I'm not by my head.
Yeah, just so
The
you're
end
clear,
result was
yes,
the supply cost was the budget line item?
Yes,
Okay.
Not the delivery cost.
yeah. So that includes the delivery cost,
Exercise
and
budget.
that is an actual number
Yeah.
that we
okay,
pay.
That's it.
Right.
What we've had to do in the
The
past.
hang-up at the meeting is why it was so different from the year before,
Yeah.
of course. That was
And that explains
I don't recall
50%
who,
of the cost.
I don't recall who it was that
Exactly.
made that stink about it now. What was that guy's name?
I think it was you.
It was brought up, and I said I would pass it along, and I thank you very much for answering.
Yeah.
Did you get my response, John? I think I hit reply all. You
Yeah,
didn't,
I'm
right?
looking for
I was
it.
gonna say, I thought I hit reply.
I know
all.
you sent it back.
That same email, number
Just
two.
that they were
Yes.
actual numbers, not estimates, which was the
Right.
previous year.
Right.
This, number
I
two,
saw that.
the sewer
You
operations.
were on, yeah, okay, yeah, all the commissioners.
You saw it.
I can't remember.
Okay. can you
No, well,
continue?
suffice we have.
The sewer operations solid waste disposal.
Yep,
Committee asked why the increase from last year.
same thing,
Same
same thing. That was an estimated number,
estimated.
and that's an actual number what we paid to remove our sludge for the previous 12 months.
It was a year of learning when the landfill closed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know unless you ask.
Exactly, no, and
Yeah.
I do appreciate the information. Thank you.
Anything else with that?
That was it. Nothing else came down. There's a vibe which we all revisit every year, I'm sure, with the sewer and the town covering certain costs.
The third,
Nothing specific you can land on anything there other than we know it's there and we're trying to find a way to get through it. That's it.
The sewer department is in the process of raising the rates. That should get us closer to covering all of our O&M and debt, it's still not gonna cover it. There's a large portion of debt coming off, but unfortunately, in the wastewater business, when debt comes off, there's probably gonna be an upgrade that we're gonna need to do to reacquire that debt, so.
At the next sewer meeting, which was the 22nd, we'll be voting for oh, we did it already.
We did.
In the fall,
Yeah, just
it'll be a
a
public
public
hearing.
The
for
30,
next-
we have a public hearing because of the rate increase.
For the rate increase,
Oh, I
we're
gotcha.
required to have a public hearing.
So the board approved the rate increase, we just have to have a public, and that'll be on the 22nd of May, I'm sorry.
Are the,
Just a point of information.
are the town buildings and the schools, do they get water bills, sewer bills, or at least do we keep track of it, so?
Well, this is another thing.
Because you'd expect the town to have
More
a
than-
certain portion of
Yeah.
this because of these things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's another thing I'd be happy to talk about. At this point, we do not charge any town buildings for water and sewer. The water and sewer department, on the other hand, are charged by the town offices for their services rendered, which is like $8,000 a year.
For the water, to run
My-
that treatment plant.
Yeah.
I've been fighting for years to get that changed.
Right.
I wanna know
What are we
who
charging you?
we pay
For the water treatment plant.
$7,500 to $8,000 a
We don't pay
year
our bills for
for
anything.
administration costs from uptown. We, the water department, never approved that, and who put it through?
That was,
So my thoughts,
I just
with
need to
this.
clarify, because
If-
I miss what we're charging you for.
okay.
That's what we want.
Specifically, so I could better understand. What's the charge?
Water usage for the treatment plant.
Oh,
mainly.
okay, yeah. The difference between that,
Somehow-
the water and sewer enterprise fund. So,
Water is charging sewer?
we do, yeah. Water charges sewer for their water use.
Okay.
Just like if the water department had any sewer connections, the sewer department would charge them for sewer. They don't. My personal feeling is if the town offices and buildings are charging us for their services, we should be in turn charging them for ours. And we are definitely gonna make out on the deal, there's no question
This,
about it.
this could get a little involved.
The service, I
Yeah,
forget
that's what
the-
I meant, right.
forget
What are we
I forget
not
what the line item
charging
is
you?
for.
It's-
Billing, right?
No,
I think
no.
it's for the collector's office,
Right.
you pay the collector's office and
Collect
the
the
town
treasurer.
accountant and such for
Right.
their services, what, you know, how she submits our bills. We
Oh.
submit them to her with
So
a
we
cover
have
sheet.
to charge
She
you to
has a-
provide the
Yeah, I have
administrative
to print it out, it's
billing?
actually up on my screen, one of them.
It's all the same pool in the end, but my thoughts are, if we're trying to have the water sewer be, you know, funded, self-sufficient, and we're passing the town's portion from our buildings and the schools onto the portion of the residents only that have water and sewer, I don't think that's an equitable levy against them. I think there's portions of this that should wind up against our levy limit in the town. That being said, I can't see we're gonna ask the school, but maybe Quabbin.
They both pay,
They
they both
pay.
pay,
They
they both pay water and sewer.
Yeah.
Okay, good, so
The
that's,
schools-
that's good.
the
So
schools pay
those
water,
are set, okay, because
yeah.
that would be, you know, Ruggles is ours, but Quabbin's
Yeah,
this way.
and
That's
even
fine.
Ruggles pays.
We pay.
water.
But then all the other town buildings, certainly, those expenses to those buildings we should track, and that portion should be the responsibility of the entire town, because it benefits the entire town.
Well,
Just-
in
just as our
turn, it
fact-
would
The
be, if we
biggest
build
draw
them.
is the senior center
We
in the
do.
library, right?
What's that?
We do track.
I was just gonna
Oh, we
say,
track.
is there a
They are
cost
metered, we
breakdown?
have
Because
the,
that
I
would
can give
probably,
you
that
how
would probably
much.
try to keep the sewer, raw sewer a little more reasonable and not just keep dumping it on.
Well, that's the reason for our rate increase. We have
Oh,
to-
I understand,
That's where,
that's why I'm talking about this, it's just a thought of mine. If we're not billing our town buildings, we should, to pick up our slack across the board instead of just,
We used to pay, when I took over the fire department, we used to get a sewer bill, a water bill, and a bill for using the fire hydrants. So I brought it to the attention of why are we paying for this? And they took it off they deleted it, so it was in the late 90s that.
yeah. Well, I don't mean per department.
We were getting charged for the water we used at the fire station.
Right.
The water we used at Berry Plains, the
I don't
water
think
we
we should
used at
give,
South
I don't think we
Barry.
should give the police and the
and-
fire
and the,
budgets for the water sewer and then take it back. I just think,
But
in our
that's-
town budget, I think we should have a line item in our budget that's
Well,
gonna cover the town's water sewer.
We
expenses.
actually came out of our budget.
come out of the levy.
To go to the water department and the sewer
I know, but
department.
now our budgets are so low, I don't see how we're gonna mix that in
Well, I
there.
just say, you'd have to turn around and increase the budgets back if you want to do that.
Right.
Raise it in.
I hope I'm making sense what I'm saying.
What? Matt, I have a question. Matt has a question.
go ahead.
Are our town buildings metered currently?
Yes.
All right.
Simple enough to do.
But the reason I asked is like with National Grid. It comes in and then we break up the bill and the accounting shows every building has its own bill, but then it shows one big old check to National Grid and it's fed from all of these different sources.
But somebody reads the meter, so
They
they
see
must
that
have a
come out of
breakdown. in
stabilization or
bills.
free
My-
cash or
my-
something like that.
My personal feeling is that we should bill every town department for their water use, including the fire department. Not for hydrant use for fire protection, because that's for the benefit of the
Well,
whole
we
town.
were getting billed.
That's a maintenance on
And
your
that-
water
and that-
system,
and that's-
really.
and
They're
that's-
doing a free maintenance for you.
And that's a big kid that doesn't get the sewer either,
Exactly.
so.
Obviously not for that. I mean, that's just something that we provide a service and that's part of doing business. But if like the Henry Woods building charges us for their services, we should be charging them for our services. But what that does, in my opinion, is everybody has a real budget of what they do. Sure, the money's getting moved around differently, but we still, as the water department, sewer
Become
department.
accountable for it.
Right, we still
just gonna
spent,
say,
we
yeah.
still spent that money to treat that water. You know, both on the drinking water side and the wastewater side. Whereas, you know, those departments' budget looks so much lower because they're not getting charged for that stuff.
I think some ingenious person in the past says, let's stop shuffling money around and do it this way, but you're right, to keep the departments accountable and to be fair with the people that are paying water and sewer bills and not pick up that extra. I think we absolutely should split that back off, my opinion.
I think that, I agree with you, that's a good point. We've been paying for a lot of years, and we really should.
You're probably on septic system, right?
Yeah, I don't care about it at all.
Well, if you- All right, so you can't vote.
But the truth actually is this, I think because they are now all enterprise accounts, we actually have to, if we really now pay attention, separate that, like you're saying.
For accountability reasons.
Can you, if they are currently metered, can you tell us what we used in the last year so people can actually try to budget this?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the same thing.
Because I
Obviously,
think
they would have to
it's
budget.
important to budget, whether we initiated this fiscal year or we initiated the next with the understanding that we've got to budget it.
I don't think that would be too difficult to shift some line items and take some off of there.
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to go there. I just think it's the right way to
How long would it
account.
take?
I don't want to get
Yeah,
too
but we
ahead
can-
of myself.
We
on
can
that.
open the spreadsheet and shift if it's, if it's 50 grand or 40 grand, we could open the spreadsheet and shift it quickly, which,
But we can't
Which
because
would
that's their
help
money.
addicts.
We can't necessarily, once we do this, they get it. That's their money. That's their account.
right.
And that's okay. You earned it. I don't mean it.
But that's it's gonna stop having the rises we're having in the sewer rates and the water
I was just
rates,
gonna say, water sewer rates will just not escalate as quickly.
Right.
which would be
It's
nice.
inevitable, and as the plant, I think you know this, as the plant ages, it's gonna cost us more for maintenance.
Oh, you're gonna need a stockpile of money for that.
There's no question, so this last rate increase is not the last one. We're gonna have more in the future.
But we need to be
Help
able to
us
review
out.
the actual expected cost at the current rate so we can at least estimate the effect on our budget.
It's gonna make all the estimates and budget more accurate, which is getting.
Shannon will get you that information, I'm sure. Ron?
Thank you, gentlemen, you just answered the water department's question. We have 3 meters at Felton Field.
Oh, they
One
use a
for
lot.
the ball field, minimum use. One for the toilets and concession, minimum use. The horse ring. How many gallons of water do you guys think they used last
You
year?
mean when they don't ask the fire department, come run it down?
Yeah,
for them?
how many gallons do you think?
I'll render a guess. If
1,800
we
a
go, we'll dump probably 2 tankers down there. Let's say we dump 5,000. If they have 20 events, they might use 100,000 gallons.
Really? Anybody else got anything to say?
I have a pretty good guess.
I wouldn't even know how to estimate it. So that's why-
Would you believe 7 million gallons?
What?
In 1 year?
Yes.
Yes, that equivalent to 60.
What are we charging people to use that field? Because we gotta up our use of
Let
that
me
field
finish.
cost.
Let Ron finish.
That's $62,000 that the water department, the other customers had to pay last
Yeah,
year.
that's
We shut the water off, didn't we?
and that's
Shut
to,
off now, yes.
We
that's-
shut it off Friday.
That's to a very small group of people.
And they,
Terrible.
and they only
And they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
when we turn
I
it
was
back
there right
on,
now.
they've been using
They make a lot of
7,500
money.
gallons a week.
They give out
Right now.
thousands and thousands of scholarships every year.
The
Yeah, they
issue
make a lot of
down there the last
can make
year
more.
is they had 2 different breaks on their above ground spigots over in the horse section that were running for who knows
And that's
how
because
long.
they shouldn't use that much, but they had to have
exactly.
leaks.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't send a bill every
But
month,
then it
they're
doesn't
not
matter.
thinking what's broken.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I just wanted you people to realize.
And the Little League, they, once in a while.
But,
during the-
no,
during the
Little League's
summer-
metered separately?
Yeah, but they don't, but they don't use much,
No,
like you
no,
said.
we had a
That's-
problem with them for a while, and then we talked to them, and they corrected it.
Just a little miscommunication on the irrigation.
There was a little miscommunication.
That's all taken care of.
Yeah.
No, I thought you people would like.
We spent a lot of time in that field back in the day to make it what it is, so they wanted to keep it nice.
That's more gallons than we pump for the town in 1 month.
That's, they won't like that bill.
Charlie, you're not saying anything.
Parks and Recs,
Felton
Felton Field Commission technically is the one that runs that whole operation. Okay.
They should,
We are now.
Believe we're gonna have.
who should we talk to about that and let them know that
The
starting
water.
FY 18 we'll be getting a water bill?
Along
We
the
can't do that
same,
yet. We just gotta
We
get the
can't.
numbers and look at it first. I can't commit to anything yet.
We
No,
can't sign
exactly.
It might be fiscal year 19, I'm just saying, but I don't know if we can just all of a sudden spin all the budgets in the next month and a half and be ready for it. Not even a month and a half, I think.
Well,
whatever you can do, we
What
appreciate.
if we send the water bills out and then for the first year, we pay those bills through the selectmen, like we're doing now?
The water bills.
What, you know what I mean? What
We
if it
don't
comes to
currently have the
our,
money.
You don't
is what-
currently, right.
We have to budget it.
Right.
And that's like almost a 4-month process, so it's hard to figure out where to cut when the last minute comes in and says,
No, you-
wait, there's
But
a
I'd
whole
like,
bunch more
but
money
I'm
you
trying
gotta
to get
figure
them
out
to
how to
speak,
cover.
what if we send them at least usage alerts this year, so they're getting
Well, I agree
monthly or
with that.
quarterly usage
Yeah, well,
alerts, so they understand where their
I
bill
can send
would.
them, I can send them mock bills.
A mock bill,
like this-
exactly, that's what I'm
this is
talking about.
What your usage was for this.
You guys are start present for this,
Quarter.
because this is where you're gonna be next year. And this
So
is-
they'll have their 4 bills for the,
And this gives everyone a year to get it,
No.
Yeah.
like you said, budgets are set, this gives everyone a year to get ready for it. And including Henry Woods and Town Hall and police station and fire station. You know, now the fire station get 2 showers and a toilet, and God knows what the ambulance guys do.
I think those numbers, as far as the regular departments go, are gonna be pretty minimal. It's not
Right.
gonna be a real large number. Matter of fact, most of them are probably gonna be the minimum.
It'd be the
Oh,
senior
yeah.
center and the library that get the most restroom usage.
Yeah, the senior center even doesn't use very much water per year.
So you're right.
But yeah, that.
Okay,
that-
I have one more complaint,
Buy you a new
and
one.
I want to read.
We never get enough complaints.
Okay, this is from the town accountant. It says, "It has come to my attention that there has been some question about whether or not a past due invoice had been paid or not. According to the town's records, the invoice from Coin Chemical in the amount of $918 dated May 31st, 2016, invoice number so-and-so, has not been paid. I have attached a printout of the vendor history for Coin Chemical, and the payment does not appear on this list. I have also attached a copy of the invoice in question. As you can see by the date on the invoice, May 31st, 16, this purchase was made in fiscal year 2016 and can now only be paid by an article on the annual town meeting warrant for prior year invoices. Now, I can tell you the DPW's policy. Shannon, Jason will back me up. When they receive a bill for water, sewer, whatever, Jason approves it, goes to Shannon, she makes a copy of it, sends it to the treasurer's office. That's the policy. We do not pay bills from the DPW. We don't have a checkbook.
John, if
Go ahead.
I checked with Coin Chemical, we use them all the time. There was a billing error for that particular invoice. It's all set, all taken care of. I told the selectman's office multiple times that it was all set and taken care of. I'm not sure why we're even still talking about this.
Can you take care of it?
Yeah, I think the issue there is, this just goes to, obviously, the issue we have with communication between different, historically, whatever built the issue is there. whenever they first got that email back in December, we weren't made aware of it till like 3 months later, and then I was copied into the second or third request about what's going on with this invoice. That wasn't to you, but to the Board of Selectmen's office. So, when I found that out, I had asked about what's going on, and they said somebody's asking us about a bill that they believe DPW didn't pay. And that's where it dropped off on my end. I didn't hear another word about it. And then it comes up again here from the accountant saying, this is what I know. So I had asked Jason, and I think I copied you on at least the original request, saying, hey, what do you know about this? What I think's going on here is the town administrator's office received a request for the Board of Selectmen asking about an invoice. And I think it's taken care of, works to a certain degree. It means we're not gonna have any legal comeback. We'll take your word for it. No one's gonna come chasing us. But they didn't know how to close the loop with the person asking, because just to say it's taken care of it. And this is what I mean by communication. One is they don't know, whoever it is, whether it's the accountant or the town administrator's assistant or whatever, doesn't know how to follow up with you saying it's taken care of, but what do I tell these people? Or you didn't realize that they needed more than just it's taken care of.
I think
Like,
that's a simple solution.
what is the issue? So that's what I meant. The communication just stopped all of a sudden when you said it's taken care of, and for some reason they didn't know how to follow up saying, how?
Yeah.
Can the chemical companies
And it
send us
created this.
Yeah.
a receipt that says, you know, a bill adjustment to this bill this date is an adjustment, the credit for this amount, billed an error, and then we have something to give them to offset their books. We have the bill, we have an adjustment. It's-
Yeah.
Well,
Because
right now
it's
they just
actually the
have-
burden
they
of
just have an
coin
It doesn't
to
even-
show evidence of delivery and the invoice is satisfied. It's not on us to necessarily say, did we pay this invoice?
Exactly.
Because we haven't validated the invoice is correct.
Right, and they're not
So
gonna
when
send
he
us
said
that,
it's
'cause they're
taken
just.
care of, it doesn't mean we paid it, but it also doesn't mean that it was a bad invoice. So they didn't know up, I'll call it on the hill, they didn't know how to respond because they didn't know if it was an invalid invoice or did we pay it.
Yeah.
So they
I believe.
don't know how to follow up with you. What do you mean it's taken care of?
Can you
I
ask
think is
them
the
for a
issue that
receipt?
came up.
Okay. I believe.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, I did, that's what I did. I simply called the lady, talked to her coin, we went over a few things, talked about it, and it's all set.
If she can send you the receipt, that'll
I
satisfy.
mean,
the
uptown would have called, picked up the phone, called.
Yeah, but still, you know how it is, the accountants.
What I meant there, Joe, is there's a communication history that's created a problem.
We have
so-
an ongoing accounting.
We gotta work through it
We're
somehow.
trying to,
Problem, just a little problem.
we're trying to get it situated, so this would help to get that. This will make that one step easier if this is settled in, because we're gonna wanna have to discuss how would things operate in the future up there, not trying to piss people off, but trying to make sure we are on time next year. And little things like this probably cause hiccups
Yeah.
for them, so.
I believe my response, I think all you guys are CC'd on email, I told them that it didn't in any
Right.
way, shape or form have anything to do with the selectman's office. It was a water department bill, therefore the water department was responsible for it.
Right.
And it was all set, taken care of.
It just on their
So,
end, I think it comes down to they're just looking for that receipt in their
Right.
end.
And I
That's-
understand, I'm
Which
just.
makes sense for accountants.
Yeah.
They don't, the words mean nothing, they need to see the numbers and balance
Right.
it. Take the T account, one side here, the other side there, now it's good. And until they have that, they're gonna have an issue that they're concerned about, so.
I think why it got dragged out so long, because I was just never included. I was the one that they should have asked in the first place, not.
It's the biggest problem.
Well, I
And
haven't,
other
I
people,
haven't
that
been
was
included for very long.
Yeah, so that was, I never got to nip it immediately.
There's a lot of stuff that's gonna go differently,
And then it just
I think, in the
spiraled out,
future.
Yeah.
so we've spoken to
Communication.
them, exactly.
Communication's gonna be better, I think,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Just even that one, I actually have never seen that email that you just read, and I didn't know anything about it, so.
And she's the
Well-
one that pays the bill.
And I'm the one that sends the bills up, so.
Understandably,
we
and that's what I
CC
meant,
ours.
just,
Ours go to Faye and she'll CC between us and Phil. And we'll have to talk to her about sending, when they rely you guys is hitting all of you down here with it.
Right.
Because
If
we don't
they apply to us,
necessarily.
we should be included. If it applies to the fire department, they should be included. If
But-
it applies to the police department.
But
they
we
should
try
be
to minimize what we do, we'll send it to the administrator or to Faye and let them generally disperse it so that we're not having a lot of
Right.
communications, because we're trying to not give that public appearance of, you know, we just sat here and talked about kids for 20 minutes to kill time, so we won't talk about stuff.
Right.
So that's part of the email, we're gonna try to get it through them and try to convince the administrators up there for us to make sure they CC everybody down here, not just you or something.
That's been talked about many times.
It'll change.
I'm not always in the office, I'm on the road a lot, work in the public safety building quite a few hours. So if it doesn't go to Shannon, I don't see it.
Yeah.
No change.
And so I guess the reason I jumped in a little bit after she sent it, then I just sent a little small thing just as a follow-up is, I just recognize the communication issue.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I looked at that, and I'm not saying anybody necessarily was approaching it the right way. I don't wanna say anybody on either side was, that should have been fine. But I can also see the other side of the argument and be like, so rather than making it pointedly, I guess what I'm trying to say is despite the history, slight chaos up there right now with the interim
absolutely.
town administrator. So who they're talking to and how they know to get information. They've gone from the idea of go to the hub and then back out to the right department and back and forth to I'm just reaching left and right, I'm trying to get, and so whatever we can do to go to the extra, maybe just to throw a little extra information at them to see if it'll help close the loop,
Yep.
might prevent this from coming up again a week from now. And so that's, and same on their end, there's like, I had asked the accountant, do you had anything to validate that this invoice mattered? Because looking at the history, we pay them twice a year. Why in 2016 would we pay them a third time? And she said, I don't know. I was like, I didn't, and she's an accountant. She's not working like the front line of the invoicing. So I don't necessarily assume she would think this, but my thought is you follow up and say, have you talked to you or you?
I think we'd
Like you said, and if they have or haven't, then you would get in a little bit. Well, do you have anything to validate the invoice? So I can go to them and say, you're telling me this and this is what they have to present. But it's a different experience that I have compared to other people, so I can't assume. And so that's all I'm saying. I just wanted to.
And the other thing you have to realize, just like you guys said a little bit ago, if I don't see anything, I see something that comes across my desk that I got today and it was from 6 months ago, then obviously that's not my top priority. That's, you have to understand that.
And
When
the
it's
other
like
thing
it's
is if it is a
when it's like
priority,
it's
then
office-
you gotta make it a priority rather than just,
If it's a priority, let me know.
We won't ask unless it is a priority.
so.
We'll be good about that.
Yeah.
My only thing is, the reason is also that whole, I didn't make the reference to the whole closing and she
Yep.
made the reference of a warrant item, and we just closed the open warrant window, so I didn't know, did we have to reopen it to just put on there? I didn't know the process,
Yeah, that's all.
more than, so I'm just throwing stuff out, going, what do we have to do? So forgive
We
me.
can get a statement or something
Yeah,
that shows us.
we'll get a statement from them showing that we're all caught up.
And we can let them know that up at accounting, and that should make everybody
Yeah.
happy.
Yep,
And
exactly. Well,
And we'll
that'll go
solve
to-
You can
our
do that, or
first
you can just
problem,
send an
guys.
email saying, they incorrectly invoiced us, if you want, call this person, the person you talked to. And then that'll close, they're done. They shouldn't have to worry about it again if you give them a name of the company saying, this person told me we're
Still
good.
gonna say, can you send us a receipt? I'll guarantee it.
Right.
That's the accounting way.
My whole thing is, they shouldn't have worried about it in the first place. They should have said, hey, I got this, here you go, take care of it. No problem. That's my job as well.
All I mean, Greg, is if you can talk to someone and they're willing to do it, you just hit
Yeah.
reject and you mail it back and you're done.
Right.
Legally, you're covered.
Right.
You don't need any more receipts of anything. It's just you get a name,
Well, at this-
call,
at
you
this
close the
point-
loop and you're done.
At this point, we're looking at a possible article
Oh,
on the warrant to.
No.
We're not.
I mean, we better just get the receipt.
Well, that's what I
and close
was
it off.
prior to this discussion
Yeah,
in
that's what I'm
the
saying.
previous, and that's because I didn't know the system well enough. I'm learning on it, so.
If I needed something on the article, I would put it.
Just let me know what you need to know, man. I got this down pat.
Yeah.
I got you, Greg. I got you. You and me. Good luck, guys.
Up to our ears and stuff right now.
I'm sorry. I just
Okay.
had to do that. I'm so bad at this.
Having fun yet?
We're almost done.
I thought it was gonna be a show one, it was nothing on the agenda.
But thank you very much for going through that discussion.
We're trying to learn a lot of crap, so we tend to draw things
Yeah,
out of
that's
you
fine.
guys, but we wanna understand the stuff we're getting
Yeah.
involved in. We don't wanna just be nodding our heads and saying, okay, whatever you say.
I think that's a good way to be.
We wanna know what's going on.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to bring up? Ron, you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Just to the budget and finance committee.
You okay? Joe?
Yes, I'm
Okay. Tom?
You look good.
I'd like to check with everybody, just to make sure.
You didn't ask Charlie, he hasn't said nothing all night.
I'm fine.
He wants to go home.
Charlie's happy?
Yeah, I'm happy, always happy.
What do you got to answer?
It's only 8 o'clock, we're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing very good.
We're doing good. Not as good as the water.
We usually stay till 10, we gotta come up with something else.
Oh, you can, feel free to
Make a
stay if
motion,
you
we
want.
adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Joe, you're slipping.
It's 2 for 2.
Okay, the next meeting date is June 12th. Hopefully everybody can I have a motion to adjourn?
Ronnie made it.
I
Made
made
it and seconded
already.
it. Joe
Joe
made it
seconded
and
it.
seconded it. We're out of
Where
here.
was I?
We don't know.
Next month's meeting.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
If you don't wanna go home, you can stay here.
Aye.
You can stay here if you want.